Oh man, so DL Hughley was on Jason Lee's podcast and addressed a couple things. Now, that was his issues with Club Shay Shay, the platform, and his problems with Monique and how that has once again caused issues between him and his daughter. He's not speaking to her right now. But Monique eventually responds, but first let's hear from DL. So here's why DL has an issue with Club Shay Shay, the platform, while still admiring Shannon Sharpe as an individual.
What we're seeing with comedians right now, has it always been messy like this?
Yes.
Really?
It's always been messy, just didn't have the apparatus for expounding.
With social media?
I don't know if it's just social media. I think people blame radio and then moving pictures and then then they blame video games for violence. Mm-hmm. So we should blame Pac-Man for being fat. But I do think there is a voracious appetite for mess. Mm-hmm. One of the reasons I was very diligent and deliberate about where I come to you now, I don't want to do nothing messy. Mm-hmm. If I want to go to mess, I go to my family reunion. I go home.
Or Club Shay Shay, because at this point, I'd say to Shannon Sharpe, I'm a fan of Shannon Sharpe and I'm a fan of Club Shay Shay, but I'm seeing the evolution of it. And I think what I do, I get the clicks and the virality because I started just dragging, going viral. And that does put you in a certain category that's very different than where I think that show started out. But it's evolving into.
But you know why that show started out that way? Because black men, saw what Skip Bayless did to Shannon Sharpe on Undisputed.
Yeah.
And we wanted him to know we got you. And my problem with it is that the very men who appeared on that show, when it wasn't as huge as it was, did it out of a sense of trying to help a man out. Mm-hmm. And everything they said was curated and basically used against them in another interview. Mm-hmm. That's problematic for me. Mm-hmm. I think that Wendy Williams didn't get off air. She just got a weight set in a list. Mm-hmm. I think that's how messy it is. Mm-hmm. And not him, because he's my favorite. I was a huge fan of the Denver Broncos. I followed him even when he went to the Ravens. He's one of my favorite NFL players. Mm-hmm. I do not like, and I would never go on that show, not because I don't like him. I do not want to be asked about the bullshit that happened before me. Mm-hmm. I don't want to have to comment on that. Mm-hmm. I don't want to have to fight about that. Cat, this is what people. Cat would play golf. We play golf at Calabasas. True story. He could point the wrong way, and the ball would go the right way. Uh-huh. I'm like, nigga, that's not. And I first couple of times we play, Cat, the hole's that way. Nigga, he don't care. I've never seen anybody hit a ball the wrong way and it go the right way.
Yeah.
That's who he is. That's his golf game is indicative of the way he does things and sees the world. Mm. So there's a love and respect for that. Mm. But I will say this, I despise the notion that just because you sit on a couch means that you're the fucking arbiter of truth. Just because you say it first don't mean it was true. It's called Club Shay Shay, not Court Shay Shay. Mm-hmm. When's the last time a nigga told the truth at a club?
Right. What Shannon Sharpe did, what I don't like when people try to do what we do is you have to stand on it. If you want to be messy, be messy. But don't be messy and go, well, why is everybody mad? I was just giving them a platform. If you give somebody a platform and then you go, really? Tell me about it.
He pushed back harder when he was on this Undisputed and Skip said something he didn't like. He wasn't quiet.
Oh, yeah.
So be the same. Listen, this is here, there, whatever. I can say this. I say what I believe. I stand on it. I'm comfortable with people, how they feel about it. I can't countenance that much negativity in a space that is detrimental to so many people I've loved. Mm-hmm. That's my thing. And I don't like that it is the fare of the day.
Okay, so I hear DL, I hear what he's saying, but it's ironic to have that stance while sitting down having an interview with goddamn Jason Lee. Now, no offense, but you're feeding into the same bullshit that you claim that you hate. But speaking of hate, DL Hughley had some strong words for Monique. Check this out right here, man.
My daughter called me. Mm-hmm. My youngest called me and like, this is gonna happen. And she's in therapy and crying because she knew that people gonna automatically know about what had happened to her before and what, and it makes it just, I'll never forgive you for that. Mm-hmm. That now I'm in a compromised situation where I want something I genuinely love. I ain't loved a lot. I love my children. And to feel like I couldn't protect them and that plays out over and over again, it's something I won't forgive you for. I won't.
And the thing
it was transactional. To do what? I write jokes. I talk shit. Come to see me. I write jokes. I've done 11 comedy specials. I write fucking jokes. This is what I do. I could never mention that person's name and still be funny. I don't have to do that. But when you take something from me that I've never had before, in full display, just for your own pleasure, I fucking hate you for that. I hate that happened.
Now after that point, Monique and her husband sat down to address D.L. Hughley once again. Check this out right here.
Our brother D.L. Hughley, who I thought we extended an olive branch the last time we had commentary in reference to when his daughter spoke out, the reason why we stopped and still offered to have a conversation with him to resolve the situation was not out of fear of his daughter doing something. It was out of love for you, DL, because it would be no different than the street we came up on. You might get in a fight with little Tony down the road, but you see Tony's mama coming down the street with them bags, you better go get them bags. I'm not tripping off of what happened between me and Tony. That's his mama. That's your daughter. So we weren't going after you anymore. We weren't even going to bring you up. But you went on, what is it, Jason Lee?
Yes.
You went on Jason Lee's show. And you wanted to share what?
That I am the cause of the rift between you and your daughter. D.L. Hughley, because you're too afraid to sit down with us, as we've said repeatedly, hey brother, let's have a conversation and let's do it publicly because our community can really heal on how we can resolve this. But you keep running, and then you keep running your mouth. And after we spoke on you last time, it was like, okay, cool. But when I watched you sit there with Jason Lee and you said, Monique is the reason I have a rift with my daughter, you're the reason you have a rift with your daughter, DL. Stop trying to run away from the fact that you did not protect your baby. And let me be clear with you about something. I'm fighting for your daughter. Because I was that daughter too, that had a daddy that did not protect me when I told him I was molested. So I know what that baby's sitting in, and I know what she's dealing with. And though she's a grown woman, I know the trauma that brings. And this ain't no shit that I brought to the table. You did and what you posted. I'm getting so sick of you not taking accountability or responsibility for your words, brother. Never would I try to hurt your family, your wife, your daughter. That's not even in me.
Because she never said anything about them. She only spoke about you.
I spoke about you, but it shows too the lack of manhood that you have to try to put it off on your wife and your daughter. That's the lack of man. And then I'm getting sick of you making these comments about who's daddy's daddy. And as if I'm with a gay man. I'm tired of that, DL, because here's the one question I would ask you, brother. When you say who's daddy's daddy, who the hell is the friend? What kind of relationship did you and this man have that you would not protect your daughter? Maybe that's why your daughter's having a problem with you, because the reality is setting in that you loved a man and you don't want to inconvenience your relationship with this man. So when you get...
Was it a man?
I'm sorry. You're right, Daddy. He said his friend. So we don't know. And DL, see, you keep playing. Who's the friend? Say the name to make sure that friend doesn't do it to anybody else. Who's the friend? Or are you still so in love with this friend that you're going to protect the friend? See, I don't mess with nobody, y'all. That's not how I'm built. But when you keep putting your mouth on me and you keep running your mouth, I'm not the one that's going to back down, D.L. Hughley.
In addition, if you notice, Monique has not ever spoken in reference to anybody's business. When they asked her about Will and Jada on Tigger, what did she say? That ain't my business. When Kevin Hart back in the day was having his challenges, she said, that's my baby and I hope for the best for his wife and himself. That's none of my business. She only speaks about her truth. And when you got upset because she reposted what you posted in reference to you not protecting your daughter, consider re-looking at that interview that you had, I believe it was with Sway.
Yes, sir.
Look at the disconnect. Look at the lack of remorse that you seem to have had when you did that. In addition to that, Think about the years that have gone by where you've made your living off of talking about people. From pastors wanting to put up $1 million to box you, to fight you, but you from the whoop-ass tribe, but you went deathly silent, to Angela Stanton approaching you in the airport, as I understand it, you wanted to get security. From the black women who were ridiculed on by Don Imus and called them nappy head and ugly.
Nappy head hoes.
Nappy head hoes. And you went on Jay Leno and you said, well, I'm not saying they hoes, but their head was sure nappy. Brother, you have a history of not protecting the black woman.
Come on.
And now it is embarrassing to you that she highlighted what you did in conjunction with the original problem being that she was on your platform, came to you after the young lady Jasmine played the game of would you rather your husband sleep with Lee Daniels with a condom on or Corinne Steffens with a condom off. And then she comes to you and it says, Brother DL, what we doing? And you say, that's just the way we do it. The problem is you can't be Malcolm X one day and then David Duke the next day. You can't be Medgar Evers one day and then you Strom Thurmond the next day. Either you're going to be for your community or you're not. So the truth, accountability, and trauma, and the reason why there's a level of ease, and I'll never say a bad word about you. I'm only sticking to the facts. The reason why people constantly talk about other people, because oftentimes there is an unaddressed trauma that you've experienced, DL, which may explain why you're sitting on a man's platform in a clear daylight with dark shades on. Maybe. But at the end of the day, you've had a history of not protecting the black woman, brother. And that's what she's addressing. So when she said, essentially, I feel sorry for your daughter, I feel sorry for your mother, your wife, do you not understand why? And there are other items that happened, that took place, but how do you nicely speak about the infidelities? How do you nicely address those infidelities and then your wife, as I understand it, finding out about a child that you had and that was lost, and once she found out about it, that child no longer existed. Now some will say, oh, that's low. That's the problem with our community. See, when people address you with the real, you got to come back and have a real conversation. This is not designed to be provocative. We're going to talk factually. We're going to talk reasonably. When you gave the community a bad bill of goods, when Monique produced a contract and you produced a memorandum of understanding. Come on, brother. What I would ask our community is look up what a memorandum of understanding is and ask yourself, why would Monique produce a contract that shows she was the headliner of a show? And this man would produce a memorandum of understanding. And last point about you, Brother DL. I heard you on Vlad, we heard you on Vlad saying, I've done some horrible things in my life. But anybody knows me knows I'm a solid cat. Do you not understand the contradiction there? Horrible things in your life. Horrible. Not I may have made some mistakes in my life. I've done some horrible things in my life. This is what you said. But everybody that knows me knows I'm a solid cat. That is a oxymoron in the highest of order, good sir. So what happens is, our community is so used to hearing and not listening that they're not paying attention to what it is that you're saying. Go ahead, Mama.
I'm sorry, Daddy.
And don't get caught up by the negatives. This conversation is for the positive. This conversation is for those that hear it.
And for those that hear it, be unapologetic when you know you're standing in the truth. For those that hear it, be unapologetic that you are not backing down. Be unwavering, unflinching. Because if we continue to be that, it may stop the bully. It may stop the person that believes they're so powerful, I can do and say anything to you. So for the ones that can hear us, that's listening, be unafraid, baby. Because we get one ride that we know of.
Just one.
That we know of. We get
in
one
this
ride.
form.
in this form, I'd be damned if I'm gonna let somebody take my turn. This is my turn. And I'm gonna take my turn the way I see fit. Take yours, baby.
All right, man. At this point, the beef ain't never going in. This shit is like a chimney in the wintertime, constant smoke, you feel me? See, I don't understand why bro spoke like there was some olive branch that was a standard when the last time DL spoke in a situation prior to this, he wasn't on no type of kumbaya type of shit. See, DL just hates the lady. He said it. I hate her. I hate her. I hate you for that. What you did to me and mine, that's why he hate the lady. So I'm guessing that we just gotta leave it at that. Leave it at that, man. But more of that interview is available on Jason Lee's platform. In regards to the things that he said about Club Shay Shay, as a content creator, you're in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situations, because to be in this game, you have to understand that it is dirty. But the point that he made, saying the people, those men, as far as Steve Harvey or other individuals that stood by his side during his issues with Skip Bayless, and then at that same platform, those men's backs were kicked in. That's an interesting point. It's always perspective. Everyone could be right in a situation as well as everyone could be wrong for some things too. Nuance, man. But I say that once again, to get into this game, you gotta understand it's dirty. And the dirtier you are, the more you'll grow. DL was on point with saying that people do want to see controversy. It's the truth. It's the truth. But y'all gotta let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here though. This is another update with Stace. Yo.